So what do you kind of think about this year's process and the kind of players that came through?
Well, I think, we obviously are, like a lot of teams, we have a pretty systematic practice that we put the draftees through in terms of trying to look at their skill level, their shooting skills, and then try to give them a chance to put them in situations where they have to play with each other and see how they react to that, and then just let them go and play at the end, which I know a lot of you have seen at least some of that. So as far as, I think we had in most of the players that we wanted to see relative to where we're picking in this draft that you could reasonably expect to get. There's always a few that you can't get that you think you should, and all that. But I think it's an interesting draft. We have more than one area that we would like to try and improve the team, and so we'll keep working from now through until the draft comes on Thursday to try and fine tune that, and a lot of that depends on what happens in front of us. So you're always working on that too.
Can you take us to what happens for people who are not in that war room, and just kind of the anxiety a little bit, and when guys go you think that might be around it? What's that like to kind of?
Well, there's a sense of apprehension, number one, and you certainly have your priority list when you get there, so that you don't get into that. What are we going to do? This guy's gone. That kind of thing. And I think you have to have some peace of mind for various scenarios that may unfold in front of you. But it's still nerve-wracking, and then there's always conversations that may have been just conversations over the last couple of weeks that on draft day become more real, and you have to be prepared to make decisions about those as well. So
this has to be the most wide-open top 7 that you've ever seen.
I think so. In general, I tend to agree with that. So we're looking forward to it, and planning on doing a good job.
How demanding and challenging is it for the players, this process? A lot of them have several workouts and, maybe just a week on a plane every day, for instance. How difficult is it for them maybe to really show you what they can do in this kind of a setting?
I think you have to take a look at that, and I think you have to have some level of concern about it depending on what the schedule prior to coming here was. I mean, certainly if they've had, this is their 5th workout in 5 days, and they've been flying all over the country to do them, and they look tired, or maybe they don't move as well as you thought they did. I mean, you have to factor that in there in some form, I think. And but the other side of that is with the demand for some of the players and the teams that want to see them, and you have to take what you can get, and so that's what we do.
When you look at going into Thursday and who might be there at 7, do you have a number of guys you look at? I mean, like you say, these are the 5 guys we think we can get, or do you or do you do like your own mock drafts, like some I heard people do, where you say, okay, well, if this happens, this guy might be there?
Yeah, we try to spend a lot of time, and like all teams, I think we try and figure out as reasonably as possible what's happening in front of us, so you can create that group and work from there.
Has it been really hard to do that so far this year?
I think it's more uncertain this year right now, at this point, today. Clarity could come tomorrow, or it could come Thursday.
In previous seasons, you've brought prospects in again and multiple times. Mm-hmm. But this season we haven't seen that. Should we be reading anything into that, or just?
No, I wouldn't. I just think, again, it's a function of taking guys when you could get them. We had a lot of workouts bunched towards the end here, not just for potential 7 picks, but looking at obviously picks further down in the draft, so just the availability factor, it gets so constrained. It's really hard to just wasn't going to happen this year.
How do you weigh the European guys versus the guys here at home in the United States?
We've seen them all. Lane Cooper was over there for a couple of weeks. Sharif was over there for a week or so. We have a full-time scout that lives in Treviso, Italy, that has seen tons of games over there this year and every year. So I think we have a good handle on them. Most of them did not do workouts. If they did, it was an individual workout in a faraway place with interviews. So I think you're really basically relying on your own scouting reports and what you've seen on them over the years.
Is this year best player available really make the most sense with it being so wide open, or do you try to address a specific need early on?
Well, my preference, especially where we are now, is to try and go who we think is best player, best player that has the potential to be the best player in the league, regardless of position. Some trades arise that might influence your roster in another direction, and you may have to change a little bit. But going into it, as of today, our discussions are about who we think the absolute best player is. And the great thing about having a staff of people that we've had together so long is that you can have very animated discussions about things and not hurt anybody's feelings.
What do you know about Mark Payne's game? How did he look to you today, and what are his chances of maybe being a late second-round pick?
I thought he did well today. I mean, he certainly held his own. He didn't embarrass himself. He knows how to play. He's had some other visits besides ours. So, I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility.
Can you just comment a little more on his combination of, he's a big point guard who's capable of bringing the ball up or playing off the ball a little bit.
Yeah, I think up here, just watching him today, he can handle it. He's going to probably have to play off the ball more than just being a primary point guard. But like I say, he knows how to play. He plays with a lot of effort, and he's got skill.
Are you fielding any trade requests from other teams regarding any current players?
I wouldn't qualify them as requests. I would say there's obviously discussions going on. Some of them initiated by us, some by others. But
Kind of business as
and
usual.
there's nothing ready to happen today.
You haven't traded out of a pick this high in the past. Is there a possibility that this pick is still wide open for either multiple teams?
Well, there's always a possibility, and we haven't done it yet, but it still remains a possibility.